coming back off the blitz, do you have the luxury to do it because your defensive line has developed a little bit more?
A little bit of that, a little bit of what the offense gives us. If we're guessing pass or they're giving us certain formations where I know what's coming, that we've really practiced and got our kids locked in and prepped, we don't have to bring the pressure. They know what's coming. They're going to go stop the play.
Did you think Noble would be as active as he's been?
Yeah. I mean, we thought Noble coming into the season was going to be a top D lineman in this league, and he's a guy that the guy that's shocking that's putting up the numbers is Kyle Rose. I've been around this defense for 6 years here, a year at Arizona, a year at Michigan, back here for 2 years with. I've never seen a nose guard as productive as he's been this year.
You've got a senior group here that hasn't done that. I mean, you've got senior kids in your meeting room, so I'm sure that's important to them to be able to say, hey, this is one of those teams we haven't beaten.
Oh yeah, they've made mention of it. They understand how important it is to them. Each week there's been a new goal that Coach Augustin's kind of put in front of the guys, and so they understand what they want to accomplish this week.
And consequently, you don't have to remind them.
It's already done. It makes it easy.
Coach, the third person here. Yeah. What has Bruce Tall been able to do to get Noble Wachuku to play at this level?
Oh, I think it's a combination of himself. We Coach Hodge and myself. We go through our meetings, we go through our individual periods, we go through our process of getting them prepared, and he understands what his abilities are. We try to give him bits and pieces to try to help him, understand how he can do more and what's expected of him, and keep raising the bar for him. And he understands that what might be acceptable for I probably grade him, and he knows it, and I don't tell him that. So I probably grade him harder than some of the other guys. And I don't, says if a guy thinks I'm picking on him, I don't really care. That's fine. I'll tell him, I am. I'm not worried about that. I think some people worry about, not picking on a guy. Well, I'm going to pick on him because I got to push him to be the best they can be.
For you, I guess this week, a nice little test against Kansas State and their special teams. I know you guys rank 1 and 2 in pretty much every special teams category.
And that's something it's going to be another huge test for our kids. Their kickoff and punt coverage teams are excellent. They've got dangerous returners. Morgan Burns leading the conference and one of the tops in the nation in terms of return average. He's returned 3 for touchdowns. So again, it's one of those things. We've talked about it all year. Playing in the Big 12 and some of the guys we saw in the non-conference, we're going to face dynamic returners every single week. And so far, our guys have stepped up to the plate and taken on that challenge, and that's how we're going to have to approach it again this week. We're going to have a positive impact in the game and slowing down their returners and hopefully getting our returners out in the open.
Do you think that playing against some of these top returners have helped your guys, get motivated and prepared to come in each week and bring their best on special teams each week?
No doubt. I mean, I think it helps keep them focused and keeps them locked in, and they know when you see on film each and every week these big returns and touchdown returns and the other teams really changing the game on special teams, it just reiterates to them how important being solid on special teams is. And again, we've been good in basically every phase all year, but again, we're going to have our toughest test of the year, our last game.